This is One on One. That is awesome. And we have him here, Robert Creighton,
Yes,
who
sir.
is the co-creator and star of Cagney at the West Side Theater at 407 West 43rd Street. What's the matter? You're not in good shape?
8 times a week right there. So it's a lot of fun, but it's gotten me in good shape, which has been fun.
Give us a story about this play and your connection to it.
We were just talking about, I moved here from Canada many years ago to go to acting school, and early on a teacher said to me, you remind me of Jimmy Cagney, kind of have his energy, you're built like him, and I know you like to tap dance on the side. It was a straight acting school, American Academy, Dramatic Arts, and I started watching his films. I was a Fred Astaire guy growing up, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly guy, and I started watching Cagney films, and I pretty instantly was like, felt a connection there. Wow, I do kind of look like him a bit, but when you're studying as an actor, you're working on your craft all the time, and he was so ahead of his time, I thought, as an actor. Just never a false word out of his mouth.
What do you mean by that? Never a false word.
You believe everything he says. In those old movies, when they're stylized, sometimes, it looked put on.
Absolutely.
But you always believed him, no matter what character or how broad it was or how tough he was or how fun, quirky he was being. You always believed it. It was always rooted, which is what good acting is. You don't see the work. It's just he's that guy. And so I was totally drawn to him on film. He was magnetic. That's the word I was looking for, magnetic on film. And then I started reading about his life and who he was as a person and his humanitarian, how, he just went through life sticking up for the little guy, believed in justice, didn't like bullies. And I had a little interaction when his estate was trying to put a show together. This is 1 year out of acting school. That fizzled quickly. It was just, they wanted someone to imitate Cagney and tell biographical stories. But that lit the fire in me, and I said, I'm going to do a show about James Cagney someday. And talked about it for years, and then finally put pen to paper around the year 2000, and then wrote a one-man show, and then met Peter Cawley, a very successful Canadian playwright who lives in LA, and I was there doing a show, and he came to see it, and we got chatting. And I was so passionate about Cagney at the time. I'm writing a show about Cagney. He said, well, let's have lunch, as you do in LA, and we'll talk about it. And he really was the one who first helped me realize you have to create a story that even if you're not a Cagney fan, people can come and engage in this man's story, this guy who was born on the Lower East Side, grew up on the Upper East Side, was scrappy, used his fists all growing up,
right.
But at his heart was an artist and needed a job. That's how he got into vaudeville, Broadway, and then ultimately Hollywood. And it was never, he didn't want to be a star. He didn't want
to be a star?
Not interested. It was a job to him when he started to support his family. He worked 4 jobs, and then this one paid $35 a week at Keith's Music Theater right up the street here, 81st and Broadway. In drag, by the way. His first show was a holdover from the First World War. 8 guys called Every Sailor. Very funny show called, I assume it was funny.
I mean, you really studied this guy.
Oh, yeah. It's in my, I've been...
Is it your DNA?
It is. I feel, what's funny, I feel this show, I've been very lucky to do lots of Broadway and have roles that I've really enjoyed. But this is something where I feel like it's part of many other things, but this is part of what I was put here to do, to tell this story.
You're supposed to do this.
Yeah, I was the guy who was supposed to tell the story.
So when you're on stage, when you're doing the play, other than the incredible physical part of it, the dancing, the performance, that part of it, which you have to be in great shape for, what's the rest of it for you in terms of getting ready and being where you need to be?
It is a role where, as I said to my castmates sometimes, because bigger musicals where you're not always, it's not quite as intense at times or whatever, I'm off stage checking scores and then going back on stage. And this one I have to get on the train gets on the track and I have to go through the show like that.
Is it you?
Because,
is the show you primarily?
No, it's about Cagney, and sure, Cagney's the central character, but there's only 6 in the cast. Jack Warner is the other major player, and they have their big battles. Starts in a made-up scene backstage when Cagney's getting this Lifetime Achievement Award, and then flashes back from there. He and Warner start arguing. But there's 4 other people in the cast who have sort of home-based characters. My brother, Bob Hope, my mother, my wife. And then they all play a ton of characters. Everybody
They play other characters.
Everybody's a star in the show. No one hides. They all get big solos, big dance numbers.
Real quick, speaking of dance, the music. The classic Cagney.
Cohan. So we have Cagney won an Oscar for playing George M. Cohan in 1942. So you couldn't do a show about Cagney without Cohan music. So we have a big USO number that's a medley of, which you just saw some of.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Yeah, give my over there.
Grand Old Flag.
Grand Old Flag. And then the rest of it, and we finish with, I don't want to tell you how we finished. You'll come and see it. You're going to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
you put some of your own stuff in there.
But then 2/3 of it is original. It's an original score. Yeah.
You?
Originally, I wrote the whole score, and then when I started collaborating with people who really knew what they were doing, about 1/3 of the score is now mine, and 2/3 is a great composer named Christopher McGovern, who sort of took over the score and helped arrange my songs, and then wrote 2/3 wonderful songs.
So you know what's so interesting to me? So I'm reading about some of the reaction and response to reviews. They're really positive, and they're great.
Amazing. Just
yes,
so touching.
Yeah, right. So I think to myself, so an overnight sensation took how many years? 16, 17 years?
Peter Cawley and I started writing together in 2003.
Wow.
First reading in New York was 2007. Our premiere was 2009 in Florida. Spring of 2015, we were at the York Theater on the East Side, and we broke their box office record for our 5-week run there, and that's when we got a commercial producer who believed that this show would do well in New York, and now we've been running 9 months, and we're on sale to the end of May. And
So overnight, huh?
so overnight. Yeah, I'm overnight.
Yeah. So how about this? What would you say to folks right now, whether they're in theater, whether they're in business, whether they're in sports, what doesn't matter what they're in? But they're like, yeah, I got rejected. It didn't work out. I don't think it's going to work out. You say to them?
I just had this conversation with someone the other day who was asking me about their kid who loves theater and wants to maybe go into this for a living. And I said, if there's anything else they'd love to do that they're passionate about also, maybe go do that and do this on the side for fun. But if this is the only people who are going to make it in this business, in this town, I'll talk about my world, are people who I didn't leave myself any option for failure in terms of wanting to do something else. Struggle, success, struggle, success, and you just keep moving forward. And leaving the business, for me, has never been an option. Because if you believe you have talent, then you just have to keep moving and your opportunities will come.
No other options?
If you doubt it, or there's something else you love to do that's easy, that isn't quite as, ebb and flow as this business is, then I would suggest going to do it.
You're not going to sell insurance?
Not tomorrow.
Anytime soon.
I got a show. I got 2 today and 1 tomorrow. We have Thursday matinees now, one of 2 shows in town, so that's been fun too. People are finding theater on Thursday in New York, which is
That's
amazing.
awesome. Robert Creighton, mind if I plug again?
No, please.
Co-creator and star of Cagney, West Side Theater, 407 West 43rd Street over on 9th?
9th Avenue.
Listen, congratulations
Thanks.
on being
Nice
an
chatting
overnight
with you.
success. Listen, can't thank you enough.
Nice talking to you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
And looking forward to coming over and seeing you.
Yeah, I hope you do.
You're getting in shape, I'm telling you.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
One on One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One on One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Berkeley College, TD Bank, Rowan University, New Jersey Resources, Fedway Associates, and by Gary's Wine and Marketplace. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.